minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and again, thank the witnesses for being here. And as a reminder, there's another committee in Congress, Judiciary, that handles immigration. This is the border security hearing, and we're talking about the security of the United States of America, just to set the stage for some of the testimony that we've heard. Mr. Ramirez, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a member of Texas Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association, a very proud organization. You mentioned the survey, the border security survey that the TSCRA has done. Would you be willing to share that with the committee?
Absolutely. If you find that valuable information, I could speak to our leadership and get it to you.
I would, and Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter that survey into the record.
Without objection.
Thank you. You've had 5 generations of proud ranching history in your family on the ranch that you're on now. I just kind of want to put it in perspective for people. From your experience, have you seen a situation in those 5 generations that is like this, with the chaos, with the damages, the high-speed chases? I mean, have you seen anything like this past 2.5-year period previously?
Well, talking to my grandfather, who was raised on the ranch, and at least going back that far, he's never talked about a time where it was like it is now. People used to come across in smaller numbers from what he recalls and looking for work and were willing to work, and it wasn't the situation that it is now. The volume of people that are, and by the way, everything I talked about, this is 40 miles away from the border. And I have friends 100 miles away from the border that are going through the same situation. These are people that, they aren't walking or swimming across the river, throwing up their hands and letting themselves, get documented or whatever happens there. These are people that are trying to circumvent that process.
What's causing it? I mean, from your experience there, talking to law enforcement, Border Patrol, what is causing this?
Well, there's certainly a reason to go through the trouble of hiring a coyote to take them through. That's an expensive process from what I understand. There's got to be a reason why they do not want to be documented. What that reason is, I don't know. But they are coming through in droves through our country.
And we're talking 5.5 million people that have been encountered. This notion that President Trump caused illegal immigration to surge is nonsense. And you have 1.5 million known gotaways, over 140 people who've matched the terror watch list that we know about this year. So I have more questions for you, but I want to move on to Ms. Tambunga. Thank you again for once again being in this committee room, for your heartfelt testimony. In previous conversations, you've discussed how the driver of the vehicle was recruited by the cartels, and there is a narrative that is in this committee and sometimes espoused by my colleagues on the other side of the aisle that the cartels are not at all linked to the issue of illegal immigration. And I want to get your take on that, because I'm offended when I hear that, and I know that this is a very personal issue.
As far as the information that we know now, and this is coming from Texas DPS, that the driver, murderer of the vehicle, he was recruited on TikTok by the cartel.
Wow. I mean, when you hear that, and I hope my colleagues are listening to that we can talk economics, we can talk immigration, we can talk the things that was said by Mr. Byer, but we're talking about the security of our communities, that this person was recruited, that this person went on a high-speed chase over 100 miles an hour and tragically ended the lives of 2 people and changed the lives of this family forever. And that is directly linked to the massive amounts of people that are coming across illegally, not following law and order. Mr. Ramirez said in his testimony that these high-speed chases are a daily occurrence. And Ms. Tambunga, Mr. Bensman, anything to add to that based on either the community of Ozona or Mr. Bensman, what you in your research have seen?
Sure. I spend a lot of time on the border, on both sides of the border. talking to people and with law enforcement. There are so many high-speed chases in the borderlands for so long that there are certain communities that, for example, have built protective retaining walls around their schools. One town in Bracketville actually has developed a siren system, kind of like like if a tornado is coming, except it's like, here comes a car chase. They hit that and all the kids go under the desk. It is just absolutely rampant everywhere you go. It's like nothing anybody has ever seen.
Well, thank you, and my time has expired. I know my colleague, Mr. Gonzalez, has a very good piece of legislation on that exact issue, but Mr. Chairman, I yield back.